Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! In the dimly lit room, scented candles perfumed the air with autumnal spices, evoking a warm and mysterious ambiance. Amidst this fragrant setting, Martha's playful challenge echoed through the smoky haze of their weekly game night. "Double the stakes?" she proposed, her voice laced with mischievous delight. Her gaze locked on Justin's as she added, "If I prevail, you'll don a feminine alter ego for Halloween." Justin's towering stature, paired with his distinct masculine features, only made Martha's suggestion all the more comical. He burst into laughter, leaning back in his chair. "What's in it for me?" She didn't miss a beat. "Freedom from my literature gatherings." The cards, almost as if anticipating the climax, revealed themselves. Black stiletto heels added 3 precarious inches to his height, while a long brunette wig framed his face with soft waves. The makeup, expertly applied by his mother-in-law, transformed his angular features into something softer, more delicate. "Stop gawking and come out already!" Martha called from the hallway. "We're already fashionably late to our own party!" Justin's wife Claire poked her head in, her witch's hat tilting comically. Her eyes widened. "Oh my God," she whispered, stepping fully into the room. "Mom, you're a miracle worker!" Martha appeared behind her daughter, beaming with pride. The 60-something woman adjusted her vampire cape and nodded approvingly. "I told you I could work magic. You clean up nice as a lady, Justin." "I feel ridiculous," Justin muttered, though even he had to admit there was something fascinating about the transformation. He took a tentative step forward and nearly toppled over. "How does anyone walk in these torture devices?" "Small steps," Martha instructed. "Heel to toe and keep your back straight." Claire approached, straightening the silicone breast forms beneath the dress. "You need a name for tonight. We can't call you Justin." Martha tapped her chin thoughtfully. "Something seasonal? Autumn?" "Autumn," Justin repeated, testing the name. Something about it felt right, rolling off his tongue with unexpected ease. "Perfect!" Claire clapped her hands. "Now, Autumn, let's get you downstairs. Our guests are waiting." The walk down the stairs proved to be a masterclass in concentration. Each step required careful planning, with Claire's hand firmly grasping his elbow for support. The dress restricted movement in ways Justin hadn't anticipated, forcing smaller, more deliberate steps. At the bottom of the stairs, Martha handed him a glass of wine. "Liquid courage," she said with a wink. "Remember, confidence is key. You're a beautiful woman tonight. Act like it." The first guest to approach was Claire's coworker Donna, dressed as a zombie nurse. She stopped, cocktail midway to her mouth. "Who's your friend, Claire? I don't think we've met." Claire grinned widely. "Donna, this is Autumn. She's a cousin visiting from out of town." Justin extended his hand, remembering Martha's coaching.
"Lovely to meet you,"
he said, pitching his voice higher than normal. Donna shook his hand, eyes narrowing slightly. "Has anyone ever told you that you have amazing bone structure? Those cheekbones could cut glass."
"Thank you,"
Justin replied, feeling his confidence inch upward.
"Your zombie makeup is quite convincing."
As Donna moved away, Justin felt a small thrill. He'd passed his first test. Taking another sip of wine, he allowed Claire to guide him through the crowded living room, introducing Autumn to friends and neighbors. An hour into the party, something unexpected happened. Justin stopped thinking about the heels pinching his feet or the unfamiliar weight of the wig. Instead, he found himself engaged in conversation with Claire's book club friends, laughing genuinely at their jokes, and even offering fashion compliments that were enthusiastically received. "You're a natural," Martha whispered during a brief moment alone by the punch bowl. She adjusted his wig slightly. "Look at how easily you're mingling. I thought you'd be hiding in a corner all night." Justin smiled, surprising himself. "It's easier than I expected. People are so nice to me."
That's because you're a beautiful woman, sweetie. The world treats beautiful women differently.
Martha refilled his glass.
Plus, you're finally relaxed enough to let your personality shine through. You're always so stiff at these gatherings.
Before Justin could respond, Claire's boss, Davidson, approached, his pirate costume complete with a realistic parrot on his shoulder.
"Claire mentioned her cousin was visiting. I'm David,"
he said, offering his hand. Justin took it delicately.
"Autumn, pleasure to meet you." "The pleasure's all mine,"
Davidson replied, his gaze lingering a moment too long.
"Can I get you another drink?"
"She's fine," Martha interjected smoothly, linking her arm through Justin's. "Autumn promised to help me refresh the appetizers." As they escaped to the kitchen, Justin let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. "Was Claire's boss just hitting on me?" Martha laughed, opening the refrigerator.
"Welcome to womanhood, honey.
Here,
help me with these cheese platters."
By midnight, the party had dwindled to close friends and family. Justin had mastered the art of walking in heels, managed to eat and drink without smudging his lipstick, a skill Martha assured him took most women years to perfect, and collected more compliments than he'd received in his entire adult life. Claire found him seated on the sofa, chatting with her sister Rachel about the merits of different skincare routines, a conversation Justin somehow found himself knowledgeable about, despite never having used more than basic soap on his face. "You're having fun," Claire observed, sitting beside him. It wasn't a question. Justin nodded, surprising himself with the honesty of his response.
"I am. It's different, but not in a bad way."
"You seem happier than I've seen you at any of our parties," Claire said quietly. "More at ease, somehow." Before Justin could respond, Martha appeared, camera in hand. "Family photo time! Autumn, front and center with Claire." The photo session lasted several minutes, with various combinations of friends and family. In every picture, Autumn, smiled genuinely, standing tall in her red dress and brunette wig, an arm around Claire or Martha, looking for all the world like she belonged. Later that night, after the guests had departed, and the three of them sat exhausted in the living room, surrounded by the aftermath of the party, Claire scrolled through the photos on her phone. "These are actually really good," she said, showing them to Justin. "Look at you. You're gorgeous." Justin studied the photos, feeling a strange disconnect. The woman in the pictures looked happy, confident, at ease in her skin in a way Justin rarely felt.
"Your mother is a miracle worker,"
he said finally. Martha, removing her vampire teeth, smiled. "It's not just my makeup skills, though they are exceptional. You brought something to Autumn that I couldn't apply with a brush."
"What do you mean?"
Justin asked. Martha and Claire exchanged a look. "I think," Claire said carefully, "that maybe you enjoyed being Autumn more than you expected to." Justin opened his mouth to deny it, then closed it again. The truth was undeniable.
"Maybe I did."
The following morning, Justin awoke to find Claire already up, sitting cross-legged on their bed, scrolling through her phone.
"Morning,"
he mumbled, sitting up. His face felt strangely tight, and he realized Martha's makeup remover hadn't quite eliminated all traces of last night's transformation. Claire turned her phone toward him. On the screen was a picture of Autumn, caught mid-laugh, eyes bright with genuine joy. "I've been thinking," she said. "Would you want to do this again? Not just for Halloween?" Justin stared at the photo. "What do you mean?" "I mean," Claire said slowly, "if being Autumn made you happy, maybe you could explore that. Without an audience next time. Just to see." The suggestion hung in the air between them. Justin thought about the unfamiliar freedom he'd felt the previous night, the way conversation had flowed easily, how he'd stopped monitoring his every movement and just existed. "Your mother would think I'm crazy," he finally said. Claire laughed. "Are you kidding? Mom's already texted me 3 times this morning about how much fun she had helping you transform. She's practically begging to do it again." "Really?" "Really. She said, and I quote, 'It's like having the daughter I always wanted, but with better taste in music.'" Justin laughed, then grew serious. "You wouldn't mind if I wanted to try this again?" Claire reached for his hand. "Justin, we've been married 5 years. In all that time, I've never seen you look as comfortable in your own skin as you did last night. How could I mind something that makes you that happy?" 2 weeks later, Justin found himself back in Martha's guest bedroom, sitting before the vanity as his mother-in-law applied foundation to his freshly shaved face. "The key to contouring," Martha explained, blending bronzer beneath his cheekbones, "is to create shadows where a woman naturally has them. We're sculpting your face with light and dark." Justin watched, fascinated, as Martha transformed his features one brushstroke at a time. Claire sat on the bed behind them, offering occasional suggestions, but mostly letting her mother work her magic. "I bought you something," Martha said, reaching into a shopping bag. She produced a different brunette wig, this one slightly shorter with soft layers. "This is higher quality than the Halloween one." "More natural looking, and it'll be more comfortable for extended wear." "Extended wear?" Justin raised an eyebrow, earning a tisk from Martha, who was trying to apply his eyeliner. "Well, you're not rushing off to a party today," she said. "I thought we might go to lunch, maybe do a bit of shopping, give Autumn a proper day out." Justin's stomach tightened with anxiety. "In public? I don't know if I'm ready for that." Claire moved forward, placing her hands on his shoulders. "We'll go somewhere quiet, out of town. No pressure. If you get uncomfortable, we leave immediately." Martha nodded in agreement. "Besides, you'd be surprised how little people notice. Most are too wrapped up in their own lives to give a second glance." 2 hours later, Autumn walked carefully into a small cafe 30 miles from home, flanked by Claire and Martha. She wore a conservative blue sweater dress with black tights and ankle boots with a modest heel. The brunette wig framed her face naturally, and Martha's expert makeup enhanced her features without looking theatrical. "Table for 3, Claire told the hostess, who led them to a quiet corner. Justin's heart pounded as they walked through the restaurant, certain everyone was staring. But when he glanced around, he saw only disinterested diners focused on their meals and conversations. "See?" Martha whispered as they sat down. Not a second look. Lunch proved to be surprisingly uneventful. The waiter addressed them as ladies without hesitation, and the few other patrons paid them no mind. By the time they finished their meals, Justin had stopped flinching every time someone walked near their table. "How about that shopping now?" Claire suggested. "There's a boutique next door I've been wanting to check out." The boutique was small and mercifully empty, except for an older saleswoman who greeted them warmly. "Looking for anything specific today, ladies?" "Just browsing," Martha replied, but she steered Justin toward a rack of blouses.
"These would look lovely with your coloring,"
she said, pulling out a deep teal top. What began as a tentative experiment became something more as Justin allowed himself to be guided through the store, accepting suggestions, even trying on a cardigan in the communal mirror. When Claire held up a simple black skirt, suggesting it would be perfect for casual autumn days, Justin found himself nodding. They left with 2 shopping bags and Justin's first pieces of women's clothing purchased specifically for him, not borrowed from Martha's extensive collection. The drive home was filled with light conversation, but Justin remained quiet, processing the day's events. It had been easier than expected, yet complex in ways he couldn't articulate. Being Autumn felt both foreign and familiar simultaneously. "Same time next Saturday?" Martha asked as they pulled into her driveway. Justin looked at Claire, who smiled encouragingly. "I'd like that," he said. And so began a new routine. Every Saturday, Justin would arrive at Martha's house mid-morning. The transformation would begin immediately, shaving, makeup, styling the brunette wig, selecting an outfit from the growing collection stored in Martha's guest closet. Then, as Autumn, she would spend the day with her wife and mother-in-law, venturing farther from home each week. A quiet lunch at a cafe became shopping at a mall one town over. That expanded to a movie theater, then a day trip to a museum in the city. Each outing built Autumn's confidence, and with it, Justin began to recognize a fundamental truth. These Saturday excursions had become the highlight of his week. "You're getting quite good at this," Martha observed on their 6th Saturday together, watching as Justin applied his own foundation.
"Soon, you won't need my help at all." "I'll always need your help," Justin replied, carefully blending the edges. "You've been so patient with me." Martha squeezed his shoulder. "It's been a joy watching you blossom, honestly. Claire says you're happier throughout the week now, too." Justin nodded, selecting an eyeshadow palette. "I am. It's strange. Knowing I get to be Autumn on Saturday makes Monday through Friday easier somehow." 3 months into their Saturday routine, a conversation with Claire changed everything. They were lying in bed, the house quiet around them, when Claire propped herself up on one elbow. "Can I ask you something?" she said. "About Autumn?" Justin turned to face her. "Of course. Are you happy being Autumn just on Saturdays? Or do you ever think about more?" The question hung in the air between them. Justin had been afraid to examine this too closely, worried about what the answer might mean. "Sometimes," he admitted finally. "Especially Sunday evenings, when I'm dreading the work week." He paused. "But it's complicated. I have my job, our friends, your family." Claire took his hand. "My family loves you. Both versions of you. Mom practically glows on Saturdays now. And as for friends and work, people can be more understanding than you might think." "What are you suggesting?" "I'm not suggesting anything specific," Claire said carefully. "I just want you to know that whatever makes you happy, whether that's being Justin 6 days a week and Autumn on Saturdays, or something else entirely, I'm here for it. For you."
The conversation lingered in Justin's mind throughout the week. On Saturday, as Martha helped put the finishing touches on Autumn's makeup, he found himself voicing thoughts he'd barely acknowledged. "What if—" he began, then stopped, gathering courage. "What if I wanted to be Autumn more often?" Martha's hand stilled for just a moment before she continued applying mascara. "Then you would be Autumn more often," she said simply. "How much more often are we talking about?" Justin met her eyes in the mirror. "I don't know yet, but more than just Saturdays." Martha nodded thoughtfully. "Well, you'd need more clothes, for starters, and probably a few more wigs if you wanted variety, though I must say the brunette suits you beautifully." "You're not surprised?" Martha laughed softly. "Sweetie, I've watched you transform not just physically, but emotionally every Saturday for months. The way you light up when you become Autumn, that's not just about playing dress-up. That's about becoming more yourself." That evening, after returning from their usual Saturday outing, Justin didn't immediately remove the makeup or change out of the burgundy sweater dress he'd worn. Instead, Autumn stayed present through dinner, through an evening movie on the couch with Claire, and eventually to bed. Sunday morning, Justin awoke to find Claire watching him, a small smile playing on her lips. "Your makeup's a mess," she said affectionately, touching his cheek where mascara had smudged during the night. "Sorry," Justin mumbled, reaching up to wipe it away. Claire caught his hand. "Don't apologize. I was just thinking how beautiful you are. Makeup or no makeup, Autumn or Justin." Something shifted in that moment. A permission Justin hadn't realized he'd been waiting for. A confirmation that this exploration was not just tolerated, but accepted. Welcomed, even. "What if?" Justin said slowly. "Autumn stayed for Sunday, too." Claire's smile widened. "I'd say, let's get you cleaned up and properly made up for the day." 2 days became 3, then 4. Weekends extended to include Friday evenings. Justin began practicing makeup application during lunch breaks at work, using tutorials Martha recommended, washing it off before returning to the office. The collection of clothing in their home closet grew, no longer relegated to Martha's guest room. 6 months after the Halloween party, Justin sat in their living room with Claire and Martha, hands clasped tightly together. "I've been thinking," he said, voice steady despite his nerves. "I want to transition, socially, at least to start. I want to live as Autumn full-time." The words, once spoken, hung in the air like delicate crystal, beautiful but potentially fragile. Both women were quiet for a moment, processing. Claire moved first, shifting to sit beside him on the couch, taking his hands in hers. "Are you sure? Not that I'm discouraging you. I just want to make sure you've thought it through." Justin nodded. "I've thought about little else for months. The days I spend as Autumn are the only ones that feel right anymore." "Going back to being Justin feels like putting on an uncomfortable costume." Martha leaned forward in her armchair. "Living as a woman full-time is different from weekend outings, you know. There will be challenges. Some people won't understand." "I know," Justin acknowledged. "But I also know I can't keep pretending to be someone I'm not. These past months have shown me who I really am." Claire squeezed his hands. "Then we'll figure it out together. All of us." Martha nodded firmly. "Absolutely. But we'll need a plan. Your job, legal documents, telling other family members. One step at a time," Claire suggested. "Maybe start with a leave of absence from work while you begin the social transition. That would give us time to prepare for the bigger steps. The plan came together over the next few weeks. Justin applied for family leave, citing personal reasons. He began seeing a therapist who specialized in gender identity issues. Martha's guest room became transition central, with the three of them researching, planning, and preparing for Autumn's full emergence into the world. The brunette wig became a daily fixture, while Justin began growing out his natural hair, which had the same rich brown color, much to Martha's delight. "Your natural color is perfect," she'd declared. "In 6 months, you won't need the wig at all." Legal name change paperwork was filed. Wardrobes were consolidated, with Justin's male clothing donated to charity. Claire helped draft emails to close friends and extended family, explaining the transition in clear, straightforward terms. Responses varied. Most friends expressed support, even if they admitted they didn't fully understand. A few relationships became distant. Claire's father, initially confused, came around after a heart-to-heart with Martha. Justin's own parents requested time to process the news, their response guarded but not rejecting. Through it all, Martha remained a steadfast presence, her initial role as makeup mentor expanding to become Autumn's most vocal advocate and protector. "You'll face ignorance," she warned one afternoon as they practiced vocal feminization exercises. "Some of it malicious, some just uninformed. The trick is knowing the difference and conserving your energy for the battles worth fighting." 3 months into her full-time transition, Autumn faced her biggest challenge yet, returning to work. Her leave was ending, and while human resources had been notified and policies were in place, the prospect of facing co-workers terrified her. The morning of her first day back, Autumn stood before the mirror in a conservative navy pencil skirt and cream blouse. Her makeup was subtle, but flawless, the techniques Martha had taught now second nature. The brunette wig, styled in a professional bob, framed her face perfectly. Claire appeared behind her, adjusting the blouse's collar. "You look beautiful, professional, confident, completely appropriate for the office." "I feel like I'm going to throw up," Autumn admitted, hands trembling slightly. "That's entirely normal," Martha said, entering the room with a travel mug of coffee. "But remember what we practiced. Shoulders back, make eye contact, speak clearly, but don't feel you need to over-explain. Your HR department has handled the official communication." Claire handed Autumn her purse, a structured leather tote they'd selected specifically for work. "Mom and I will be a phone call away all day, and we'll have your favorite dinner waiting when you get home." The drive to the office felt surreal. Parking in her usual spot, Autumn sat for an extra moment, gathering courage. Then, channeling the confidence she'd built over months of Saturday outings, she stepped out of the car and walked toward the building. The security guard at the desk, who'd been briefed in advance, nodded respectfully. "Morning, Ms. Williams. Welcome back." The elevator ride to the 4th floor stretched interminably. When the doors opened, Autumn stepped into the familiar yet suddenly foreign landscape of her workplace. The first colleague she encountered was Howard from accounting, who did a double take before recovering. "Autumn," he said, using her new name without hesitation. "Good to have you back." Each interaction followed a similar pattern. Initial surprise, despite the company-wide email, followed by varying degrees of awkwardness, then a return to professional normalcy. By lunchtime, Autumn had survived meetings with her team and a brief conversation with her director, who had asked straightforward questions about her readiness to resume projects. In the break room, her friend Patricia approached cautiously. "Is it okay if I ask questions?" she ventured. "I want to be supportive, but I'm not sure of the protocol." Autumn smiled, feeling some tension release. "Questions are fine. I'd rather you ask than wonder. Their conversation, though occasionally halting, was genuine. Patricia admitted confusion, but emphasized her desire to understand. You seem different, she observed. More present, somehow. I feel different, Autumn acknowledged. For the first time, I'm not pretending to be someone else. By the end of the day, Autumn's initial terror had subsided into a manageable anxiety. There had been awkward moments, a few inappropriate questions, and one colleague who had pointedly avoided her entirely. But overall, the day had been survivable, even affirming in unexpected ways. Arriving home, she found Claire and Martha waiting with champagne and her favorite pasta dish. You did it! Claire exclaimed, pulling her into a hug. How do you feel? Autumn sank onto the sofa, accepting the glass Martha handed her. Exhausted, relieved, proud, I think. You should be proud, Martha said firmly. What you did today took immense courage. I couldn't have done it without both of you, Autumn said, feeling tears threaten. I don't know how to thank you. Martha waved away the sentiment. Nonsense. All I did was show you some makeup tricks and lend you a wig. You did the hard part. It's more than that, Autumn insisted. You both created a safe space for me to discover myself. Without that Halloween party. Speaking of which, Claire interjected, this year's party is in a few weeks. Think you might want to attend as yourself this time? Autumn smiled, picturing it. No costume needed this year. Just her, finally authentic in her own skin. I'd love that, though I'm still not sure what I'll wear. Martha's eyes lit up. I saw the perfect dress last week. Emerald green would look stunning with your coloring. As Martha launched into a detailed description of potential outfits, Autumn caught Claire's eye across the room. Her wife's expression held such love and pride that Autumn felt her heart might burst. 1 year ago, a lost bet had led Justin to reluctantly don a red dress and brunette wig, expecting humiliation, but finding liberation instead. The journey from that night to this moment, sitting in her own living room as Autumn, surrounded by love and acceptance, hadn't been without challenges. There would be more hurdles ahead, continuing hormone therapy, possibly surgeries, navigating a world that didn't always understand. But looking at the two women who had become her steadfast champions, Autumn knew with absolute certainty that she was finally on the right path. Not just for Saturdays, but for all the days to come. Thanks for watching my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!